What's up, people? It's Sunday, and as you know, Sundays are for driving. Today we have a little bit of a change in scenery. I am in New Jersey. Today we're going to be driving BMW M3 of the E36 generation. Korea. This is my brother Arya. This is Zach, aka Zakaria. And we're gonna be driving his M3 today. So Zachary, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so this is my 1997 E36 M3. It's the first year of the 3.2 liter straight six, which BMW is very famous for.
The E36 is sort of the in-between generation of my two favorite 3 Series of all time, the E46 and the E30. And now in hindsight, it almost looks like they knew what the E46 was going to look like, and they took the design of the E30 and they made this as a combination of the two. But overall, it's a pretty cool looking car. The design is very pure. Straight lines are always the way to go for me. But we're going to talk a little bit about the experience of driving it. I have not driven it before. I love the driving experience of the E30. And of course, I love the E46. I love the steering on that car, and the handling is just absolutely amazing. So
you're gonna enjoy it, and I put a lot of money into this car to make it what it is. When I first got it, it barely ran. So I got about 20 grand into it.
Jeez! Due to the fact that these cars are a less desirable generation of the M3, I guess they're not as easy to find in very good condition.
Yeah, no, you're almost never gonna find one in the condition that this one is in. I mean, it's mechanically perfect at this point. It needs a little bit of body work, but I mean, the paint's in good shape. It's a very clean car, and it actually is an enthusiast auto group car. So any BMW lovers, this car is from Enthusiast Auto Group. The name of the color is Estral Blue, which for you BMW fans out there, you know that this is the very first BMW generation to have that color. Originally, it was only a color on the M3, but even today, they still sell that color, but it's on non-Ms. So, you know, it makes it that much more valuable. Not to mention that my interior color is actually Dove Gray. It's one of the most rare combinations, so it was a good find. BMW is known for the 3.2 straight six engine, and this is the first car to have that engine because in '95 when the M3 came out, it was actually a 3.0, not a 3.2. In Germany, they actually got a similar engine, however, it was called the S52 B32, and this is the S52, and the difference is over 50 horsepower. However, this is the first car to have Vanos. BMW invented Vanos, and this is the first car to have it. On that engine, it needs to be serviced basically every 20,000 miles, and you're looking at a bill of a minimum of 3 grand. In this car, you never have to touch it. I mean, this thing has 150,000 miles, and we've never touched it. So this is definitely a more reliable engine than what they got in Europe. Going back to how much I put into the car, when I first got it, it didn't really run. I rebuilt the transmission. I didn't do the short shift kit yet. I'm planning to do that soon, but I did do the linkage, so it's just pretty smooth. BC coilovers and Michelin Pilot Super Sports. In America, this would be orange, but in Europe it's clear, so I got the clear ones on there. And then the side marker out front as well would be orange, but I did the clear conversion as well as here. So I basically just did the Euro conversion. I also got the angel eyes from Depot. A lot of work on this car, a lot of work.
So you're pretty deep into it.
I'm deep into this thing.
So we know that Zach loves it. Let's see how I feel about it.
Because he has low expectations. So
I do have low expectations, but I think that helps. There's a certain charm about BMW 3 Series interiors in general. every generation sort of has its weird, interesting character, and this one's no different. If you look at the steering wheel, the vents, the shifter, just the weirdness of the dashboard, I think it all gives it a lot of character, and it's super cool to me. Everything with the Zack's car is in pretty good condition on the interior as well. The seats have been redone and everything else looks pretty damn good. All that's left now is to take it out and see how it handles. Alright, this is legitimately the first time I've ever driven this car. The clutch is very interesting.
And it's brand new. Put a lightweight flywheel as well.
Feels pretty good. Feels mechanical. I like
very
it.
Mechanical.
I like that. The clutch feels really good. Oh man, it revs up so fast.
That lightweight flywheel, man.
Love it.
Oh. Essentially, with the Miata, the whole point of it is that you can, you know, max out the power and still have full capabilities, and essentially that's what you have here in this car. However, it's got like triple the horsepower, so it's even more fun. And it's a 50-50 weight distribution, so you can really throw it around.
Really?
Oh yeah.
The throttle response is pretty good for a freaking 90s car. My experience so far, just driving it a little bit around town, basically is that this car is not meant to be driven slowly.
Definitely not.
It's like playing with you, it's teasing you. Hey, why are you driving so slow, bitch? What's wrong with you? It has all the characteristics that you want when you're driving spiritedly. Not quite comfortable as like a commuter. It's not that it's unbearable. You know, it's still a BMW. It's very much a driver's car. It engages you in a very good way, but it's not overbearing either. The other guy, oh shit, nice.
Jesus. Sick. Jesus.
Oh my god, these roads are so scary. Because you can't see shit, yeah. We're in the middle of the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. I'm so glad we recorded that. Oh my god. I got blown across the car.
Oh boy. Jesus!
We're finally understeering. Oh yeah. So the good news is we found the limit. The bad news is that we have shit in our bag. That was good.
Holy shit.
Oh my god!
We were going 62. Yeah, well, like I said, this thing just rips. I mean, we were doing what we were doing, and it just wanted to keep going.
Yeah. I like the high rev sound of straight 6 BMW engines. It's not beautiful or harmonic, but it gives you the confidence that you want out of an engine when you're in higher revs, and it tells you that you can do a lot more, baby.
Thanos, man.
It's been a fun day, I have to say, with the E36 M3. I woke up this morning not expecting too much, but it's a lot of fun. It is very pure. It's very much of a driver's car. It's not quite as powerful as the later generation M3s, and it's not quite as weak and gutless as like a Miata, but it definitely handles like one. I feel the steering feels very mechanical. It feels very much like you're stuck to the road. There's very little body roll. I was super impressed in high-speed turns how little body roll there was.
I attribute that also to the BC coilovers. I also put some braces as well, because these cars are known to actually crack if you don't put the brace on. So you got the coilover and the brace. It's pretty stiff.
There was that one turn that we actually understeered a little bit, but that was super high speed. But in low speed, you know, when we did that big turn and Arya flew across the car, I was entirely shocked. We didn't hear any squeak or anything. We were still very much within the limits of the car. So that tells me that, again, because of the fact that it's super lightweight, it's very much tossable. Like,
yeah,
you know, you can whip it just like you could with a Miata, except it's a BMW, and you have the amazing performance to back it. So it definitely gets a thumbs up from me. I woke up this morning asking myself the question whether or not the E36 M3 will soon be a classic. And to be honest with you, the fact that not a lot of people know about it just because of the fact that it doesn't look as cool as the other ones, it's very much an underdog, and I feel like it's on the come up, and I think in the next few years it's gonna gain value.
I personally think that it's gonna go up in value, but that's not why I bought it. I bought it because, in my opinion, it is a true driver's car from the 90s. Acceleration
and the performance of the engine is not about how quick you get from 0 to 60. It's about how it makes you feel between 0 and 60. And I think that's undervalued, especially when it comes to cars like this, because they're not the fastest, but they give you all the feels and emotions that you want between the time that you take off and when you get to 60 or 80 or very legal speeds.
Very legal speeds.
Extremely legal. Thanks to Zach for letting me drive it today. So we're gonna wrap it up, and we'll see you next week for another episode of the Sunday Club. Peace out, people.
Peace.
Jesus!